Hi, and welcome to the January edition of Rowlett on the Water on the Move. I'm Todd Gottel.
And I'm Lynda.
This show is produced entirely by city staff and can be seen on Rowlett's own television network, RTN 16. You can also find us on the YouTube channel by going to Rowlett Texas Video or Rowlett.com to our streaming video page. Well, Happy New Year!
It's hard to believe, isn't it? I mean, really, it is. I was visiting with my family over the holiday, and it just seemed like last week we were doing Christmas last year.
This is our first show in 2013. You know, it is really hard to believe.
I know.
I just seemed like we were just sitting here doing the 2012 show. Now it's 2013.
Time flies.
Well, we've got a busy year, or we've had a busy year. It looks
Yes.
like we have another busy year coming up, and with, of course, New Year comes your New Year's resolutions.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm just wondering how I'm going to be able to keep them.
Well, let's get to at least February 1st before you break them.
We're going to show you some New Year's resolutions that could change your life, all right here in Rowlett. And on this segment, it's called A New Year, A New You.
Yes, sir, and I would be willing to bet for most of us, fitness is a resolution. Every year, I plan to start it differently. This year, I'm really doing that.
Can't you tell?
Good job. Woo! There
Don't
you
quit
go.
my day job, right?
Oh, but for the rest of us, look no further than the Lakeside Leisure and the Rowlett Community Center. Now, Mayor, you really do go to the community center, you do have that as a part of your fitness resolution and have for a number of years.
It is really a nice facility. For those that have not been there, and I'm surprised at how many people haven't, it really is a jewel in the city of Rowlett, and it's just a wonderful place to go. You know, not only just to meet people, but of course it's indoors, which makes it really nice. We've got a terrific outside track, but we've got some great programs as well.
Yes, and you play racquetball.
I do.
So they're racquetball courts, and to your point, there's an indoor track, so whether it's really cold or really hot outside, there's no excuse for not working out. There's the fitness center.
That's right.
And you mentioned classes. It's amazing the classes that we have. We have Get Fit with Zumba, Bodyworks, Spin. I think the Spin class books up quicker than anything. Yoga Lattes, and many other exercise classes. And, you know, it's so important for our children to be physically fit as well. You know, one of the more significant crisis or epidemics that I think we'll be facing in this country is childhood type 2 diabetes, and the best way to fight that is activity. So we've got programs for our kids, whether it's racquetball, basketball, soccer, or hockey, and we've got a spring breakout camp that we're planning when spring break happens. Adults can also get into team sport action. We've got basketball, volleyball, softball. We've got older adult activities as well. There's a bridge club, there's monthly lunch socials and fitness and computer classes, and they have the best field trips. I'm always jealous when I read about where they're going or where they've been.
Sounds like fun. It makes you wish you had the time to do all that.
I tell you, that's true.
Well, I'll tell you what, we also have some non-sports classes, including polymer jewelry making classes. They have art classes, and they have pastels and acrylic painting and Zentangle. I'm
not familiar with that, but yes.
Well, that's another really good class from what I understand.
And this year, we're going to be adding group piano lessons. I took piano lessons as a child, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't appreciate it at the time.
How come you get piano and I get Zentangle?
I don't know.
Yeah, I do. Actually, the piano lessons are fun. I'll tell you, if you haven't had a chance to do that, that is a terrific instrument to play, and it's something you can pretty much use anywhere, and it's something you don't have to have people to play in order to make it sound good. You can sit down at the piano and play by yourself, or just by a keyboard.
That's it.
A lot of fun.
So we really do encourage everybody to browse the Spring Lakeside Leisure and find a class and a perfect activity for you and everyone in your family. And just as a reminder, our community center hours are Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Sunday, 12 to 6.
Well, our second resolution is going to be to take a ride on the Dark Blue Line that's located in downtown Rowlett. And here's a few reasons why you should take the Dark Blue Line rail and leave your car at home. Now, I love the dart rail.
Yes,
I think
sir.
that is just terrific. And the first thing as we talked about this segment, I said, I almost want to get my newspaper out, relax, start paging through. And you can say, what are you doing, Todd? I said, I'm going to ride the dart rail.
And read your newspaper.
And read my newspaper, open my iPad, and just have a terrific trip. But really, first off, it saves you money.
Yes, it does.
I think that's the most important thing. As gas prices rise, and they fluctuate, go up and down, but the gas prices inevitably are going to continue to go up. And this is a great way to help save money because it saves on fuel and also saves on car maintenance.
That's true. The other reason is really just to go green and help the environment. Taking a car off the road helps the environment, helps the air quality. Even if it's not an everyday thing, every bit helps. And I tell you, if you ever do it once, you'll want to figure out a way to do it every day.
Right.
It is wonderful.
And it's a stress reliever.
Yes.
Now, that's one of the nice things. I was teasing about the paper, but I'm serious about opening up your paper. The fact is that you can relax, and that is really nice. I don't know if anyone's been on 30 or 635 lately, or just even the turnpike in the morning. It is bumper to bumper traffic, and you're on stop, go, and it's crazy. And some car breaks down. It's stressful by the time you get to work. It's stressful, but this is a great stress reliever. No traffic, no rush hour, and you can also get some work done or sit back and relax.
We were talking about this the other day because a group of us took the DART train and literally walked out of City Hall, walked to the platform, went downtown for lunch and came back. And we were talking about it's about a 40-minute ride. And
That's
to
right.
your point, by the time you get to work, you're relaxed, you're chilled. By the time you get home, you're debriefed. You've parked work at work and ready to enjoy the evening, and it really is just a great way. And also with our first resolution of staying fit, taking DART can help you stay fit as well because you can walk or you can bike to the
That's right.
station. Last month, Drew Rist, our creative producer, taped a documentary about how he biked to the Mockingbird station and then rode the train to work. And so even if you have to drive to a station, you're going to be active and walking when you reach your destination, and every bit of activity counts. We wear pedometers at the city as a part of our wellness program, and you really have no idea how much you do or don't walk until you put one of those on.
It's pretty embarrassing. Whether you look to your body, okay, this is how we did. But but the DART station is great because you get to park your car, you can walk up there, you can walk down the station, and especially it's so convenient. That's one of the nicest parts that I really like about it.
Well, it is, and you can explore the Metroplex through DART, and this really has been one of those things that I hope all Rowlett residents do, and I've had to go through this exercise as well. I'm used to getting in the car and going, and so I have to now stop and think, I'm going outside of Rowlett, does the DART train go there, and can I take the train?
That's right.
And go to the Dallas Zoo and take your family. It's literally a stop, or catch the Dallas Mavericks game, or any concert or activity at the American Airlines Center. And there are just a number of destinations that have direct access to the DART light rail. A lot of the arts and performing theaters downtown is a DART stop, and so it's just now easier to park the car, leave it in Rowlett. You can take the train to Lovers and shop at the Central Market. I mean, it's just endless, the possibilities.
Well, that's one of my Christmas presents.
Is it?
Yeah, so my friends Lori Ann and Jeff said to me, we want to get you something for Christmas. He said, I really don't know what to get you. Well, they got me a day with them on the DART rail. She said, now they are avid DART riders, so they know the system, they know how to get all over the place. And I look at the map and go, well, it looks pretty close, I'm not sure. And because again, it's sort of a scary thing. If you haven't ridden the rail before, it can be a challenge, but it's not. It's so simple. And she said, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. So that's one of my gifts this year, or from the past years. We get to go and take a ride on the DART rail.
Well, you'll be an expert.
So it'll be fun.
You can
We'll have a great
educate us
time.
all next time.
We'll do it.
And then the last resolution is one that will help your heart. And it's not a workout class or even eating healthy, it's volunteering. Every opportunity that we have, we strongly urge everyone to take an active role in our community and volunteer. And as a volunteer with the City of Rowlett, you'll have the opportunity to put your knowledge, talent, and energy toward improving the quality of life in your community and in yourself.
And it's fun.
It is.
You get to meet new people,
Yes.
and you also benefit by by gaining a greater understanding and appreciation of your city process.
You know, that is so true, and it's so wonderful every time I get to engage with some of our volunteers, and you hear me talk, we've got a number of them that view this as a job that they don't get paid for, but they are delighted and they come to work and they have titles, and it's just wonderful, and they are such an important part of our work family. And so if you too would like to volunteer with the City of Rowlett, contact Denise Perrin, our Community Relations Manager, to volunteer. That's D. Perrin, D-P-E-R-R-I-N at Rowlett.com, or you can call Denise at 972-412-6192.
Well, I'm tired.
Well, you know, that's a good segue, sir. You know, when we transition to this commercial break, we're going to talk to you a little bit during the break about our Park and Recreation upcoming schedule. There's always lots to do in Parks and Recreation. And then we've got an interesting educational piece called What is Opticom? And that is a piece of equipment that are on our signal lights that allow our emergency vehicles, whether fire or police, to speed up the traffic signal, if you will, so that they can safely maneuver through the intersection. And our Captain Chris Brown in the fire department and Lieutenant Steve Ferry in the police department is going to explain Opticom, what is it, how's it work. So stay tuned and we'll see you in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Diane Jones from the Parks and Recreation Department. We are now taking registrations for our annual Little Sweetheart Dance that's scheduled to be held on February the 2nd, 2013 at the Rowlett Community Center. The red carpet is ready and the cameras are rolling for this year's Hollywood Night theme event. The cost for the event is $40 a couple and includes a 4x6 keepsake photo, light refreshments, fun contest, a DJ, and free valet parking. Don't miss out on a night with your little girl she'll never forget. It's time to hit the strip for an evening of glitz, glamour, dancing, and tasty treats. Are you looking for something for the preschooler in your family? The Parks and Recreation Department will be offering Blast Ball beginning January the 17th. Blast Ball is an excellent introductory game for t-ball and baseball for boys and girls. It allows for more action for a youngster's short attention span. And we can keep them busy for months with basketball hot shots in February and little athletes in March. The Rowlett Parks and Recreation is also offering new adult classes in January, including art classes such as Zentangle, pastels, acrylics, and group piano. Zentangle helps increase focus and creativity, and it reduces stress through a process of mindful drawing using repetitive patterns, which result in beautiful abstract art. Check out all our new programs in the spring 2013 Lakeside Leisure. Are you looking for something a little faster paced? That includes indoor and outdoor exercise? Check out our new cross-training program. Classes are 1 hour long and meet 2 days per week. The workouts can be customized to work with any fitness level and include tire flipping, the sledgehammer, muscle rope workout, body weight workouts such as sit-ups and push-ups, and agility training. For only $25 per month, this is sure to kickstart your winter workout goals. The Park of the Month for January 2013 is the Lakes of Springfield Park, located at 5501 Antioch. Springfield Park has something for everyone in the family. There are 1.7 miles of trails, first-come, first-served baseball and football fields, a disc golf course, a playground, and a pavilion. Springfield Park is also home to our radio airfield. There's always something new and fun at the Rowlett Parks and Recreation Department. Be sure to check out the website for additional information.
Hi, I'm Steve Ferry, Lieutenant with the Rowlett Police Department. Today we're going to talk about Opticoms. Opticoms are traffic control systems that are designed to reduce traffic collisions with emergency vehicles as emergency vehicles travel through intersections controlled by traffic control signals. What this allows us to do is it allows us to have a green light in the right-of-way to travel through the intersection. The transmitter is located on the police vehicle. It's an infrared light, and it emits a infrared light to the receiver at the traffic control signals. The traffic control receiver is located on the crossbars between the two red lights here. It's a small lens. It receives the infrared signal. Once it's received, cycles the light for emergency vehicles in the direction that the emergency vehicle is coming from. This control box right here is basically the control panel that operates all the emergency equipment in a police car. We have the siren, arrow sticks, takedown lights. Right here you'll see a button called Opticom. The officer activates it when they're en route to an emergency call. They don't necessarily have to have their lights on per se. Fire department does, but the police officers do not. They have the capability of just activating the Opticom and signaling the light so they can proceed through the intersection safely.
My name is Chris Brown. I'm a captain with the Rowlett Fire Rescue. Intersections are the most dangerous points of travel for us as we're responding on emergency call. More accidents happen at intersections during emergency response than any other place. So having control of the intersection in the direction of travel we're going is safer for us, but it's also safer for the other vehicles because it stops all the other vehicles, gives them a red in all the directions of travel except for the direction we're going. Once we activate the Opticom, obviously it gives that one direction of travel a green light and everyone else gets a red. It takes a little bit for the light to recycle back through, but you will eventually get back on the cycle that it was on before we interrupted the process with our Opticom. It will then in turn go back to the normal cycle. So it might skip you once, but it should come back around and give you a green light pretty quickly.
In addition to making a safe travel for emergency vehicles to travel through the intersections, the Opticoms also allow police and fire to improve their response times to emergency calls. The Rowlett Police Department is proud to have a less than 6-minute response time to all priority 1 emergency calls that we respond to. And this is one of the pieces of equipment that we use to assist us with arriving on calls in a timely manner.
Well, welcome back. You know, Mayor, last year and the year before, we spent quite a bit of time talking about Realize Rowlett 2020, the vision for the community, the update for our comprehensive plan, and really as a part of our new year, new beginnings, we're going to be transitioning this from a planning document to an economic development strategy. And the reason for that is it's one thing to plan and have a document, but it's not good to have done all of that and put it on the shelf.
That's right.
So as a result of that, Aaron Jones, our planning director, in the next segment has taped a wonderful video where we're almost ceremonially, if you will, transitioning this to Jim Grabenhorst, our Director of Economic Development. And really, they're going to focus on how we are switching from a planning phase to an implementation phase. And I'm really excited about this new year because we are having a lot of interest from the development community. They're very excited about really the, I would say, open and opportunistic, if you will, vision that this community has for itself, because it's about a sense of place.
That's right.
It's not necessarily about uses. And we've had some conversations with some developers that are really excited about the progressiveness of the community. So stay tuned and watch this wonderful conversation between Aaron Jones and Jim Grabenhorst about Realize Rowlett 2020.
The Realize Rowlett 2020 Planning Initiative started close to 2 years ago when the city set out to update the comprehensive plan, referenced throughout this video as Phase 1. Phase 2 of the process has taken place over the course of the last year as we work towards creating regulations and rezoning 4 key areas in the city to support the vision established by the community in the comprehensive plan. The ultimate goal of the Realize Rowlett 2020 process is to put plans and regulations in place that will specifically promote the types of development that will help diversify the city's tax base. We've compiled the following video to provide a history of the process up until this point. Well, the Realize Rowlett 2020 Planning Initiative started back in December of 2010 as a way to update the city's comprehensive plan. At that time, the comp plan had not been updated in at least 10 years, and the vision established in the previous plan was significantly outdated, taking into consideration the major shift in the economy, the city's growth patterns over the last 10 years, as well as the pending opportunities that would arise as the result of the President George Bush Turnpike Eastern Extension and the new DART light rail stations.
DART and PGBT connect us to Dallas and the rest of the Metroplex in a whole new way. We have increased access to the rest of the Metroplex, and they have increased access to us. This access will increase the amount of businesses and people that come to Rowlett and desire to make Rowlett their home.
Through the Phase 1 process, the city held a series of 9 public meetings, including a full-day planning charrette, which is really just a fancy word for a workshop, where citizens and other stakeholders collaborate on a vision for the community. The final result was the adoption of the Realize Rowlett 2020 Comprehensive Plan on September 20th, 2011. The Realize Rowlett 2020 Comp Plan is truly the community's plan. It is a product of engaged stakeholders and a great deal of work on the part of the steering committee, city staff, and the consultant team.
We realized early on in the Phase 1 process that the city has limited opportunities left to greatly impact its future when it comes to diversifying the tax base, as major portions of the city are already built out and well established. So we knew this plan would be critical to lay the groundwork for success. Part of diversifying our tax base will be making sure that we have housing types for people at all stages of their life. The end result was a plan that created a vision for 13 opportunity areas within the city. While all 13 areas are unique, it will take the diversity offered in each area to ultimately achieve the city's goal of fiscal sustainability and creating great places of lasting value. It's important to note that a comprehensive plan does not establish zoning regulations or zoning boundaries. It's a high-level overview that establishes a vision and provides implementation strategies that are used to create zoning regulations and boundaries in the future. It's the first step in proactively planning for the next phase of the city's future, which leads us to Phase 2. In order to protect and advance the vision established under the comp plan, the city has chosen 4 areas of focus for Phase 2. Area B2, Woodside Living. Area D1, Healthy Living. Area E1, Signature Gateway. And Area E4, Old Town, also referred to as Downtown. These areas were chosen due to several factors: return on investment, ability to leverage off existing investments, and readiness of property owners and developers to develop the property. At the end of this process, the city will be rezoning these properties to put in place regulations to help achieve the vision that the community established under the comp plan. In summary, creating great places of lasting value. Area B2, Woodside Living.
I think the Woodside Living area will attract a slightly different group and demographic that's missing from our city today.
There will be mostly residential with some commercial mixed in that will make living here convenient for people, but will also be close to PGBT without being right on it.
It'll send a very, very strong message to the home building community that there's an opportunity here that's been unmet for a long time.
Area D1, Healthy Living.
I think first and foremost is the partnership with the hospital. It's a great entry into the city from the east, and it offers mixed uses. There'll be commercial, residential, office, and medical.
And we can also tie into Scenic Point Park and really make sure that people have options for healthy food, for healthy activity, to walk to work, to walk to restaurants.
The idea of healthy living is bringing the vision together amongst all those different property owners with the hospital in some way kind of leading the charge.
Area E1, Signature Gateway.
Wow, Signature Gateway is a really unique property. For those that haven't seen it, I encourage folks to take a look as they're driving south out of the city on the Turnpike. It's on a point of land. It's surrounded on 3 sides by water.
What excites me the most about Signature Gateway is its potential to really become an address for the city of Rowlett within the Metroplex. With the right multi-story building, you could have panoramic views of Lake Ray Hubbard and the Dallas skyline.
If Signature Gateway is done well and partners with the hospital, and the hospital is growing a medical district that includes both their uses and private sector uses, they almost need to work in parallel, and they definitely, the dialogue needs to be happening right now. So the city's really facilitating that dialogue.
You know, first and foremost, I love our downtown. But downtown to me is really a place that is a hustle and bustle, lots of activity. And really, I think the vision is to create the downtown that we've never had before. Our downtown today consists of a few shops and businesses, but I really see a lot more than that.
I think downtown is important not only to Rowlett, but any city, because I feel like it's the heart of the city. It's where it started, you know, and it grew from there.
It's a place where the city comes together. We hold events there, we do our 4th of July, Memorial Day. It's a place where people come. And as such, as we look at our zoning, at our vision, we want to reinforce that. We want downtown to be a gathering place.
Since the vision for the 4 focus areas was established in the comprehensive plan, the goal of Phase 2 was to put regulations in place that would support that vision. Throughout the Phase 2 process, we held a series of 4 public meetings. 2 that were generally related to the Signature Gateway, Healthy Living, and Woodside Living, and then 2 that were specifically dedicated to downtown. We held the first round of meetings in March and the second round in June. Property owners within 1,000 feet of the subject areas received mailed notices, and large banners were placed in key areas of the city to advertise the meetings. City staff and the consultant team also held 3 formal meetings with as many of the property owners of the subject areas as possible, and we had several informal meetings as well. In addition, we held a combination of 10 advisory committee, downtown task force, and joint planning and zoning commission and city council meetings, where additional stakeholder input was vetted and incorporated into the process. At the public meetings, participants were provided with information about what makes great places of lasting value, took visual preference surveys to determine what design standards they preferred, and then were asked to provide input on the draft plans for each area. Participants were given the opportunity to provide input for all the areas, although some chose to focus just on one area that interested them the most. At the second meeting in June, participants were shown how their comments had been incorporated into the refined plans. Much of that input has been incorporated into the final versions of the plans and regulations that will be considered by the City Council tonight. In July, staff organized a development tour to show our stakeholders how the design principles and regulations that are proposed for adoption in Rowlett have been applied successfully throughout the Metroplex. Here are some highlights from that tour.
Well, the purpose of our tour today is really to get a better understanding of what's going on in other cities. So as we make the decisions, the tough decisions as part of Realize Rowlett 2020, it's so important that we have a better understanding firsthand of the impact that actual development may have on our community. Our first stop on our journey today takes us directly to downtown Plano, where behind me you'll see the entire council and P&Z being greeted by Frank Turner. He's the Deputy City Manager for the City of Plano, and he's given us a guided tour of downtown, and he's talking about how the development itself actually took place. One of the key things that I love about the downtown Plano area is really how well it's laid out. Right to my left here, you'll see an apartment building that was done, and inside the apartment building that's nestled is this really nice courtyard. You wouldn't even know you're even downtown, but yet you hear the sounds of the Dart Rail, which are just steps away to my right.
That's exactly what I was thinking of, downtown Rowlett and how well this would fit in.
We are back on the bus and we're heading to North Richland Hills for a tour on our next stop. Erin, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're doing in North Richland Hills?
Well, to start with in North Richland Hills, we're going to stop and have a presentation from the developer who actually developed North Richland Hills, hometown North Richland Hills. The main reason that we're having this presentation is because this neighborhood is very similar to what we're trying to achieve in the Woodside Living area in Rowlett.
I'm here in North Richland Hills in the development called Hometown. This was a developer by the name of Bill Giedema that actually built this development and actually designed this. It is a beautiful community. One of the things I'd like to point out, if you look behind me, you have these beautiful cottage-style homes, and they are just lovely. The architecture and the design on the houses is very unique. Although they're very similar in terms of the format, each has a very different look. And pay attention to a lot of the landscaping as well. They are overly landscaped. They don't use wood fences, they use the iron fences, and the streets are a little bit more narrow. So what it does, it creates this really wonderful sense of community.
It's something that we could use in Rowlett. It's something that would benefit a number of different income groups in Rowlett, and I think we'll have
what's
it.
your favorite design feature as we drive through this community? Is there something that sticks out to you?
Landscaping.
I'm about to finish my 15th year, and you know, Grapevine is terrific. Certainly Texas is as well. I think that Plano's downtown, Grapevine's, McKinney's, there are certainly maybe a few other examples, but there are not a whole lot. I think the most important thing is this, and I don't want to sound too, I guess, a little too passionate about it, but Main Street's our soul, and we make sure that we protect that.
Had a chance to really see the integration of how you can incorporate mixed uses together, and that's one of the main things that we're trying to incorporate in our downtown is the ability to integrate commercial uses with residential uses and how they can interact. The other thing that we got a chance to see that we really haven't seen before in Rowlett is the importance of streetscape and how streetscape, the integration of pedestrian traffic with commercial traffic, how you can make that work, as well as having the DART station as a vital part of our downtown, and how we can build on that, getting ready to open here in December. It's going to be a different market, something that our residents aren't used to seeing. But this, having this tour today is a good example of how we can integrate that into our downtown area and start to get those uses and those different housing products that a lot of folks are desiring in Rowlett.
We're here with our final stop today at the Shops of Legacy up in Plano. I'm here with our city manager, Lynda. How are you?
I'm doing great, Todd. How are you?
So what are your thoughts for today?
You know, it has been a really wonderful day, and those that went on the tour have all commented the importance of seeing theory, the things that we've talked about, very visually. And I think it's been very educational. The hometown neighborhood in Richland Hills is a great example of the type of product that we're most likely to see in Rowlett. We spent some time this morning in downtown Plano and really appreciate the words of wisdom that we got from Plano staff of some of the lessons learned and things that they've done well. Being here at the Shops of Legacy, I think, really is a great example of how they age. It's a very hot day. We have shade. While it's still hot, it's not scorching. There's folks out walking. It's a triple-digit heat day, and there's still a tremendous amount of activity. And the common theme, I think, from everybody has been the value added of these three things. In talking to the developer of the residential subdivision, downtown Plano, we've stopped in Grapevine, everybody has said that it has aided in their tax base. It's diversified their tax base. And those are the things that are important to us. That's why we've focused on Realize Rowlett 2020 and ensuring that we're diversifying our tax base and making sure that with the last opportunity for development, we get it right and we had value added.
Wow, this has been a terrific day. Started at 7:30 this morning at Rowlett City Hall. Our journey's taken us to Plano, to North Richland Hills, to Grapevine, back to Plano. We've been all over the Metroplex looking at these great projects. We've met some awesome people. We've had an opportunity to get the story firsthand, and we are looking for a lot of really great things out of our Realize Rowlett 2020 program.
I hope that you found this background information helpful. The Realize Rowlett 2020 Comprehensive Plan identified 13 guiding principles that staff, council, and the Planning and Zoning Commission committed to base all future development decisions on. While all of them are important, I want to take a moment and focus on number 1, value existing neighborhoods. Through the Phase 1 process, we reconfirmed that Rowlett is a bedroom community, and our citizens don't want to change that, but rather enhance it with our remaining development opportunities in order to diversify our tax base as much as possible. For those of us born and bred in Texas, likely all we've known is suburban development, so it's difficult to make the mental shift to a more urban environment. However, this must be done if we're to achieve the desired results of diversification. The development types that we're proposing under the new code can be anywhere from 25 to 40% more expensive to build. This is primarily due to the high requirement for street trees, the additional concrete required in a more urban environment, and the requirement for improved open space. But these areas also retain their value much better over time. So to that end, we can't just take our suburban model of development regulations and apply it to these areas without considering the unintended consequences. I also want to punctuate the fact that we're not advocating rezoning the entire city to a more urban environment. At this point, only 4 areas are being considered, and it's our hope that those 4 areas will only enhance the quality development that exists in Rowlett today. Through additional economic analysis during the Phase 2 process, we were faced with the realization that our existing housing market is literally eating us from the inside out. So much of our housing stock is from the same size and price band that we're only serving a very small portion of the market demand. As a result, property values will continue to decline if we do not diversify. In addition, with diversified housing comes diversified commercial opportunities. So to that end, while I acknowledge that not every person in Rowlett desires to live in a different housing type or locate a business in an urban environment, we know there's a demand for this development within our trade area that Rowlett does not currently have.
Hi, I'm Jim Gravenhorst, Director of Economic Development.
And I'm Erin Jones, the Director of Planning. You just saw a snapshot version of the Realize Rowlett 2020 initiative that's been taking place for the last 2 years. Phase 2 really ended on November 6th when the City Council adopted a new form-based zoning code and rezoned the 4 areas that you saw in the previous video under that code.
Wow, Erin, that was a great recap of the Realize Rowlett 2020 process. It looks like you had your hands full in doing all the work associated with that. So now that that's wrapped up, what are you going to do with all your free time?
Well, Jim, I'm going to Hawaii. No, I don't think we're going to be slowing down anytime soon. As you remember, the Realize Rowlett Comprehensive Plan really identified 13 opportunity areas. Phase 2 just studied and rezoned 4 of those areas. So we're going to keep moving forward until we've rezoned all 13 over the next how many ever years that takes. Next year, we're going to focus specifically on what's been called the North Shore area, really the area along PGBT and Merritt Road. And this is one of the areas in the city that's the largest amount of vacant land that we have. So it's really important that we go through and we plan it in the most efficient way possible so that we can make the biggest impact on our commercial tax base.
Yeah, and you talk about one of the largest areas. Most people may not realize that Rowlett is about 65% developed today, and about 35% of our land mass still needs to be developed. And the area along Merritt Road and PGBT is one of the largest areas that needs to be redeveloped. So when you talk about that area, what did the community say back in 2011 when you went through the planning process on the vision for that area?
Well, there were really 2 different scenarios that were contemplated in the comprehensive plan. The first being a short-term and the second being a more long-term scenario. Also, it's important to remember that this area hasn't been studied in detail since the North Texas Tollway Authority chose not to put service roads in that area, or since the Merritt Road realignment and reconfiguration that's going on now. So it's really important that we reevaluate it in light of these access issues. But in the short term, we could see things like flex office, some town center development along the PGBT and Merritt Road intersection, some limited moderate to low density single family homes to help buffer what currently exists out there, maybe some hotel development. This would also be a good location for some higher end manufacturing or distribution centers. And then more long term, you could see some of your corporate campuses or education or technology centers out there too.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about some of the vision that's there. I was just up there the other day to check out the Merritt Road construction project that's going on, and that's moving along nicely. But you really get a sense that that's a rural area, has a rural character to it. So what's going to happen with the existing homes and the residents that live out there today?
Well, it's really important to note that we are just laying the groundwork with these plans for private investment to come in the future and redevelop. So if you own an existing home out there, we want you to stay as long as you would like. It's always within your, it's always your decision when you sell your property for redevelopment. So in the interim, you can still live in your home, you can still expand your home, improve your home. It's just at whatever point in time those homeowners decide that they would like to move or redevelop their property, then the vision would come into play.
So it's a lot like what we experienced when we were talking with the businesses and the residents in the downtown area, that there's existing businesses there today, that the vision that the community established has some short-term opportunities and some long-term. So if you're existing today, you can stay there until the market decides or until you decide that you want to move on or to sell your property in that area. So again, we talked about it having some long-term vision there. So if it's a longer-term vision for that area along PGBT and Merritt Road, some people might say, why are we planning it today?
That's a really good question. When you're talking about long-term planning, it's always best to get ahead of the development opportunities. And since PGBT is open, we've seen a lot of interest in this area. So by planning it now, it really gives the city the upper hand to be able to control and make sure that we're getting those quality developments that really helps us balance our fiscal portfolio and make sure that we're sustainable long-term, which I know is something that you're really interested in as we are trying to improve our commercial tax base. So speaking of that, since we rezoned the 4 areas in November, you know you're going to have a much bigger role to play as we move forward next year.
No question, Aaron. One of the exciting things is that transition kind of from the planning process that Aaron talked about and you all saw the recap on, to really an economic development strategy moving forward for those 4 areas. One of our key things that we want folks to understand is that all the effort that went into that planning process, that's not something that is part of a document that's just going to sit on the shelves. We are really going to be proactive in going out and identifying marketing targets that are going to be attracted to those 4 areas that we have there. One of the key things is going to be our ability to go out and take that vision that the community established in those 4 areas, target private investment that's going to make that vision become a reality.
So how does having the code and the plans that the council adopted on November 6th in place, how does that help you with your marketing effort?
Aaron, that is a tremendous asset for a community to have the codes and the regulations in place today. A lot of the challenges on the development side stem from a developer coming in, trying to sell a community on a vision or a plan that they have for a particular area. In this case, we are able to be much more strategic in who we go out and talk to and really target the developers that are attracted to the vision that this community has established for itself. For example, in the downtown area, we know that some of the vision is the transit-oriented type development around the DART station. So those are the types of developers that we're going to go out and target, not only just in the local area, but nationwide, that may want to bring a project to Rowlett.
So should our citizens expect to see some buildings coming out of the ground anytime soon?
Well, that's an interesting question, Aaron. One of the things with the Realize Rowlett 2020 process is it is a long-term vision plan. We definitely have the opportunity for short-term projects to take off. We have a lot of interest in the downtown area, the healthy living area that was identified, Woodside Living. So we're excited about the opportunities that may be starting here in the very near term, but want to make sure people understand that, for example, in the downtown area, it's 240 acres. We talked about the existing businesses that are in place that can stay there, continue to operate, that as the market evolves in the downtown area, the development community will step in at the time that there is a market for them to transition some of that. So again, exciting short-term opportunities, but also to keep in mind that it is a long-term vision and it's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Well, it sounds like we're both going to have our hands full for years to come. So do you have any final words to leave with our viewing audience?
I do, Aaron. On the economic development side, it's really exciting for us to have a strategic plan that we're going to go out and market to the development community based on the vision that the Realize Rowlett 2020 process has. So I would say that it's an exciting time to be here in Rowlett. It's going to be exciting to create Rowlett's future, and we hope that the businesses and the community stay engaged in the process as we move forward.
Well, it sounds like neither one of us are going to be slowing down anytime soon. On the planning end, we're going to move forward with the study and the rezoning of the North Shore area, and then continue to work on the other 13 opportunity areas over the course of the next few years.
And on the economic development side, we are really going to transition from the planning effort to strategic marketing effort for the 4 areas that just recently got adopted.
Well, Jim, do you have any final words to leave with our viewing audience today?
Aaron, I do. It's an exciting time to be in Rowlett, and it's exciting to be part of Rowlett's future that we're going to create. And I just hope that the businesses and our residents continue to stay engaged in the Realize Rowlett 2020 process.
Well, I second that. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch our recap of the Realize Rowlett 2020 initiative and learn a little bit more about our next steps. We do hope that you will stay engaged in the process, as we always appreciate your input, and there will be several opportunities to participate moving forward. For now, thank you and goodbye.
We're now going to talk about the wonderful things going on in the Rowlett Public Library with Mary Lynn Saxton. And I want to draw your attention to the Design Your Own Original Bookmark celebrating the Black History Month bookmark contest. So if you're looking for wonderful art projects for your children, and we're taking entries, grades, kindergarten through 12th, between now and January 26th. Have them put their thinking caps on, their artistic skills. We're going to announce the winner of this bookmark on January 30th. There's actually going to be several, depending on the age groups. And the winning bookmarks are going to be printed and available at the Rowlett Public Library in February 2013. So let's see what else is going on in the public library in Rowlett.
I'm Kathy Lane. I'm the Library Program Coordinator for the Rowlett Public Library. We're at 3900 Main Street. Happy New Year! Why don't you start off the new year with a visit to the library? You'll find all kinds of materials, from books to magazines to music, movies, audiobooks. Everything is free. We'd love to have you at the library. January is a very exciting month for families, and we have programs to keep you and your family busy. Remember, we're going to be closed on Monday, the 21st, in celebration of Martin Luther King Day. 4 Paws Up Dancing Dogs will delight your family on Saturday, January 26th at 2 p.m. You will love them. They're terrific. There are many storytime programs for the younger family members. It's going to help with their reading skills. They're going to love it, especially baby storytime. It's every Monday at 10:30. for the younger children, 11:30 for the lap-sit babies. It's a wonderful, wonderful program. Your children will love it. These are interactive and include nursery rhymes, board books, songs, bubbles, and peekaboo parachute play. Toddler Storytime is every Wednesday at 10:30. Toddlers are very curious and have a love of learning. They will start at this age to recognize the letters of the alphabet. It's for children ages 18 months to 3 years of age and includes books, stories, songs, action rhymes, finger plays, and of course a parachute with bubbles and many surprise guests. Preschool Storytime is every Friday at 10:30. It's for children 3 years of age and older. This storytime helps continue your child's introduction to the alphabet and early word recognition through stories, books, songs, flannel stories, marching to music, finger plays, and for the big finale, a giant parachute with bubbles. Bilingual Storytime is on the 3rd Tuesday of the month at, again, 10:30. It's on Tuesday, January 15th for books and songs in Spanish with puppets, crafts, and much more. When you're out and about, don't miss our Storytimes at McDonald's. At 66 and Rowlett Road, we have Storytime at McDonald's on the 2nd Tuesday of every month. The other Storytime on the 4th Tuesday of the month is on Lakeview Parkway between Cheesa and Dow Rock. Starting in January, we'd love you to come to the library on Saturdays at 10:30 for a time for families of all ages to enjoy movies, games, and crafts. On January 5th, watch the PG movie Jack Frost. On the 12th, have fun making Jack Frost snowflakes. And on Saturday the 19th, play games with your friends and family at Saturday Games at the library. This January, from the 1st to the 12th, tweens and teens between the ages of 10 and 18 can enter the Ben Franklin Birthday Book Trailer Contest. Book trailers are a commercial. They're made as a PowerPoint or a Movie Maker file that's about a book. These are chosen from books in the Young Adult collection from our library. The judges are professional videographers and advertisers who will decide who will win the picture of Ben Franklin on a $100 bill. An awards program will be held on the 19th at 2 p.m. in the conference room. Go ahead and enter. You just might win. The Rowlett Public Library will be having another contest, the Black History Month Bookmark Contest, held from the 1st through January 26th. Children in grades kindergarten to grade 12 are encouraged to enter. This will be making a bookmark celebrating Black History Month. It can feature a person, an invention, or an event with historical significance. The official entry forms must be used and are available online or at the library. Entries must be received in the library by January 26th. Winners will be announced on Wednesday, January 30th, and the winning bookmarks will be printed and available at the library in February. Adult ESL classes are held at the library for beginners and more advanced learners. They're held in the library meeting room at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. every Monday, and 1 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday and Saturday at 10 in the library conference room. Sign up for classes at the reference desk. There'll be no ESL classes Tuesday, January 1st, or Monday, of course, January 21st when we're closed. GED classes for adults are held at the library on Monday and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. and at 10:30 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can sign up for these classes at the reference desk also. And again, there will be no classes on January 21st when we're closed. If you want to learn to check out books, ebooks especially from the library using Overdrive, ebooks are free with your library card, and the best part is the ebook is checked in automatically. You don't even have to remember to return the ebook. Come and find out more at the course on ebooks at the library on January 10th at 6:30 p.m. Doesn't this cold weather make your thoughts turn to knitting? On Tuesday, January 15th, the knitting group of the library invites you to join them in the conference room at 7 p.m. The knitting group meets every month on the third Tuesday. Beginners and experts are welcome. Join us every third Thursday at the No Page Unturned Readers Club on January 17th at 7 in the library conference room. This is a lively and entertaining book discussion. It's on any book that you happen to be reading. Bring your own latte and we'll supply the cookies. The Rowlett Public Library offers computer classes for seniors and adults. Check the calendar for announcements of upcoming classes in January and February, and register at the reference desk or call the library at 972-412-6161. There's something for everyone at your Rowlett Public Library. Happy New Year!
And welcome back. It's always important to explain to our public how we're good stewards of their financial resources.
This is my favorite part.
Why is that?
It's the monthly financial report.
Yes, it is.
Everybody's going, oh. You guys do such a great job, though. You really do. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It is, and it is important. And fortunately for us, we are very blessed to have some exceptional financial staff that does take good care of our money. So
that's exactly right.
Let's go to Alan Gard, our Director of Financial Services, and get this month's update.
Hello, I'm Alan Gard. I'm the Director of Financial Services for the City of Rowlett. The City of Rowlett takes a number of measures to ensure a high level of financial transparency for its citizens. In 2012, the City was recognized by the State Comptroller's Office as a gold level member of the Texas Leadership Circle, an award given to local governments in recognition of financial transparency. In order to achieve the gold level, the City is required to meet several criteria, including posting to the City's website the budget, the annual financial report, and each month the check register and the monthly financial report. The Finance Department prepares the report and presents it to the City Council at a regular City Council meeting each month. While the presentation made at the Council meeting usually provides a high-level overview, the report itself is very detailed, providing information on each of the City's funds, key local, state, and national economic indicators, and dashboard information about the City's primary operating funds major revenue sources, and overall fund performance. This report is prepared in a way as to provide financially relevant information that is easy to read and understand. The staff developed a forecasting model using historical data in order to provide a framework for comparing actual performance. The purpose of this effort is twofold. First, the report informs the City Council and public regarding the status of the city's financial position. In other words, where are we versus where do we project we would be at this time of the fiscal year? Second, this report informs the staff and the City Council about significant variances which allows the City Council to monitor and make adjustments and to make decisions appropriately for future budgets. This report provides a heads up to decision makers and mitigates any surprises. The report provided to City Council in December includes financial information through October, which is the first month of the city's fiscal year. On the revenue side of the equation, overall the city has earned or received $5 million for all its funds in fiscal year 2013. This amount is 6.2% of the approved operating budget of $79.6 million and is 7.3% higher than the forecast projected through the month of October. Expenditures have totaled $6 million for fiscal year 2013. This amount is 7.5% of the approved operating budget of $79.6 million and is 1.3% lower than forecast through the first month of the fiscal year. Based on these very early figures, the net shortfall for operations is $1 million. However, this is $400,000 better than expected at this point in the year. If these trends continue, this would increase the overall surplus in all of our funds by $100,000. The figures for October project a positive trend for the month. If you would like to view the entire report, please go to www.rowlett.com. If you have any questions, please contact me, Alan Gard, the Director of Financial Services, at agard@rowlett.com or 972-412-6288.
All right, let's go back to the library, and we've got Phil Barrett, and he's going to talk about flash drives.
Yes, you know, I want to add just a little bit to this because I'm really proud of Phil, who every month talks to us about technology.
That's right.
And so often there are really two schools of people that get technology and people that don't. And for people that get technology, this is pretty basic. For people that don't get technology, this is really helpful. And so every month, as we've talked about, we're going to be featuring a technology tip that for some it may seem too elementary.
That's right.
But we hope for those that want to stay current, want to at least understand what the words are and what they mean, Phil's going to help us with that.
And in some cases, this stuff is like life-changing.
Oh,
I don't know, in the
yes.
case of this flash drive, I mean, to be able to transfer a file somewhere, it seems like a huge effort, but people that have a little flash drive or thumb drive as they're called, it makes it as simple as it could be. And that's just one example.
Absolutely. So let's see what Phil's got for us this month.
Hi, I'm Phil Barrett, Technical Services Supervisor with the Rowlett Public Library, here with a useful technical tip. I'd like to talk to you for a minute about flash drives. They're called many things, including jump drives, thumb drives, pocket drives, memory sticks, USB keys, and others. Flash drives are portable storage devices for digital media. Just about anything you save to your computer can be saved to a flash drive. They come with different capacities from around 2 gigabytes to as large as 128 gigabytes. So they're really useful for moving around smaller files like documents, pictures, or a small amount of music, but not so much for large permanent storage. Flash drives come in many different shapes. Some of them are tracked into a plastic cover, some of them flip open like a pocket knife, and some of them just have a removable cap. But the way they actually connect to the computer will be the same. When the flash drive is open, if you look at the end of it, you can see a silver rectangle that is open on one end. This is a USB connection. USB is used for connecting all kinds of things to your computer, so you've probably used it before. If you haven't, look inside the silver rectangle. You'll see a small piece of plastic with little bits of metal pressed into it. Those bits of metal are how the storage device gets information from the computer. Now look at your computer. There should be a rectangular hole in the front of the computer that looks similar to the USB end of the flash drive. This is where the flash drive actually connects to the computer. Just place it into the hole. Most of them are set up so you can only plug it in one way. When you plug in your flash drive, a lot of the time the computer will automatically open it for you. If it doesn't, click on the Start button and select My Computer. The drive will appear under Devices with Removable Storage. Double-click on the icon for your flash drive. The name of the drive will depend on the drive itself. Sometimes it'll be the name of the company that makes the drive. It also might say something like Mass Storage Device. If you can't figure it out, just pull the drive out and then put it back in. Something should appear that wasn't there before when you plug the drive back in, and that's going to be your flash drive. If you like, you can rename the flash drive so you know for sure which one it is every time. Just right-click on the drive and choose Rename. The most common use of flash drives is to make information portable. If you need a document, you can put it on the flash drive and keep it with you so you always have it on hand. In addition to portability, they're useful for backing up information. If you have important documents saved to your computer, you can move them to your flash drive and then lock the drive up in a safe place, thereby keeping your important information secure. Some flash drives come with encryption, so you can password protect them. This is especially useful if you have sensitive information that you don't want anyone to see. To add items to your flash drive, first open up the window for the drive itself. Then open a second window and find whatever you want to move to the flash drive. A lot of the time, items are saved under your My Documents file, so that would be a good place to start looking if you aren't sure where you saved your item. You can also run a search by clicking on the Start menu, then Search. Once you've found what you want, just click and drag it over to the flash drive. Alternately, you can right-click the item, select Copy, and then right-click on the flash drive window and select Paste. For more information on this and other technology topics, visit the Rowlett Public Library, where we have books and programs to help you learn about technology, as well as computers where you can practice the things that you've learned.
You know, periodically we have door-to-door scams that you read about in the newspaper or you hear about the news, and Rowlett really is no exception. And Officer Greg Baldwin's going to talk to us about this, and it's so very important to pay attention, be observant. If somebody knocks on your door, you don't have to open it. We certainly want you to be safe, but let them know rather that somebody's in the house. And if you see suspicious activity, bother the police. Call 911. Tell them that there's something going on in the neighborhood. It's way easier for them to catch the crime in progress than it is to hear about it several days later and there's nothing we can do.
And Lynda, I'll tell you, I've had this happen to me. I work out of the house, I get a knock at the door and someone says, hey, we're doing attic inspections in your neighborhood, could we come up and look in your attic? And you're like, attic inspections? Yeah, we did your next door neighbor. Now, they didn't know that I happen to know every neighbor on the street, and I know they didn't have an attic inspection, but they just want to get in your house. And that's the kind of stuff you have to be very, very careful of. And that's one example of many that we get during the day.
That's true.
So let's go off to Officer Greg Baldwin and learn a little bit more.
Have you ever had a salesman knock at your door and you asked yourself, is this a scam? Chances are pretty good it was, and hopefully you did not give them any money or personal information. Here are a few red flags to look for when you are approached by a salesman. Number one, is the salesman making you think the two of you are friends? Is this opportunity urgent and you must act now? Is the salesman insisting on entering your home? Is the salesman talking so fast you cannot hear yourself think? Has the salesman just assumed you are interested and has not even waited for you to say yes? Some of the common door-to-door scams you should be on the lookout for are the following. Magazine subscription sales. You are told by a charming young person it's a bargain and it's for a good cause. Often the rates are 3 times what you would normally pay, or the magazine never arrives. Most of the time, the young salesperson does not even know it's a ripoff. They are being scammed by their bosses. Home repairs. A slick handyman knocks at your door and tells you your roof needs repair or your driveway needs recoating. They offer you a great deal. They wind up doing substandard work that you did not need in the first place. Remember, professional contractors are usually backed up with work orders and certainly do not have time to solicit work by going door to door. Rocks in a box. You are approached by a salesman that says they work for a local electronics store. Sometimes they even have acquired a uniform from a store like Fry's or Best Buy. They tell you they have an overstock of laptops, iPads, or tablets. They even show you a fake invoice of how they received too many of these items. The salesman gives you a sealed box. You pay him and he leaves. You open the box and find it to be a broken laptop or literally rocks in a box. Voter registration. The easy way to tell if this is a scam is if they ask for your social security number or your financial information. Legitimate voter registration companies will leave the forms with you to be completed and turned in by you. Medical wellness checks. This is a tactic used by crooks to get in your house. They will ask to see your medication. The bad guy will steal your valuables while your back is turned digging through your medicine cabinet. Free energy audits. A self-described energy company representative knocks at your door unannounced and says they are here to see how much energy your house is wasting. This is either a tactic to get inside your house and rob you, or you get stuck with a repair bill for a service you did not need. In this day and age, there is no shortage of people trying to scam you. Here are a few tips to reduce your chances of getting taken advantage of. Never make a buying decision when you have just heard the sales pitch. Give yourself 24 hours to think about it. This gives time for the emotional effects of the salesman to subside and time for you to do some research. Do not share personal information about your family or your worries with the salesman. Ask yourself, what's in it for them and why are they approaching me with it? And most importantly, when in doubt, keep strangers out. You have no obligation to answer any personal questions or even answer the door. It is better to be rude than to be scammed. There is nothing wrong with asking a salesman to leave a brochure at the door and you will review it later at your convenience. The City of Rowlett has a city ordinance regarding solicitors. All solicitors are required to apply for a permit at the police department. This includes solicitors that only leave a handbill at your door. The permit must be reviewed and approved. This gives us a chance to check out the company and the individuals that they are sending into our neighborhoods to solicit. The permit is a letter with the Rowlett logo on top and is signed by Chief Broadnax. The City of Rowlett does not give out any type of ID badges to solicitors. If you see a solicitor in your neighborhood and you have a strange feeling, immediately contact the Rowlett Police Department. For more information, you can visit the FBI's website and the AARP's website, or you can contact me at gbaldwin@rowlett.com or 972-412-6242.
And welcome back. We're going to have our City Council and our Planning and Zoning meetings in January. Just as a reminder, there's only going to be one council meeting this month, and that's January 15th. And on that night, Mayor, we're going to hear from you and see the State of the City address that you've presented in the form of a video presentation. And it's going to be exciting because this year you're going to have some help. Right. I was delighted that you were wanting citizen participation, and so there are a number of video interviews with citizens on the various topics that you're going to be presenting. We had a great year, and I think you've got a great State of the City speech to give, and it will be shown the night of January 15th, and then it will be highlighted on RTN 16 in the days following the meeting, and we'll feature it in the entire month of February. And in addition, our planning and zoning meetings are January 8th and 22nd. And as with all things, our meetings are broadcast live on RTN 16 and streaming video on Rowlett.com. And you can watch previous meetings there as well at any time.
Well, we also have CERT, which is Community Emergency Response. They've got a 2-day class coming up. So the Rowlett Citizens Corps Council will sponsor a 2-day CERT, or Community Emergency Response Team class on Saturday, February 16th and 23rd. That runs from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and the class is open to the public. Now, CERT is an awesome way to support your community. They support the police and fire departments. They are literally the backup to first responders, and it really gives you a true appreciation of what goes on in those. Plus, it gives you the ability to help. The course fee, as I mentioned, first and foremost, it's open to the public, but the course fee is $20 and covers all disposable materials used in the class. For more information to register, you can go to rowlettcert.com.
Yes, and as we've already mentioned, the Rowlett Public Library celebrates the Black History Month in February. The library will observe this with a variety of programs and activities for the whole family. And I will tell you, I'm really pleased with the level of programming offered by the library. I would encourage you to go to rowlett.com and look at the Rowlett or the library page. We'll be featuring this in the newsletter as well. If you get that, there are at least 4 programs on Saturdays that are wonderful. They'll be entertaining and educational for all ages. So please mark your calendar and attend.
Now, coming up February 19th through the 25th is Severe Weather Awareness Week for the state of Texas as well.
Yes, sir.
So.
And you know, we have severe weather twice a year, really in the spring and in the fall. And this is a very good time for folks to check their preparedness kit, update their batteries, go back through their planning event to make sure that folks know how to contact each other in the event of terrible weather, or where to go, what protection to take. You think back to April of last year when we had 17 tornadoes in the Dallas area. It was a very scary day. Everybody I knew was somewhere dodging something, and so you really just can't be too prepared. And this is a way to really focus on that. Our severe weather season starts in March and April, and so it's never too early to be prepared.
And upcoming on February 4th is our Little Sweetheart Dance.
Yes.
Now my of course little one is not, she's still a sweetheart, but she's not that little anymore. She's 15. But that's going to be at the community center on February 4th, 2013. And it's called Hollywood Night is the theme. It's $40 for a father-daughter, and includes keepsake photo, refreshments, contest, DJ, and of course free valet parking.
You know, as a girl, all that means is it's another excuse to get dressed up.
Well, I love those moments because they are too few. And if there's one opportunity to make a memory in something like this, where it's just doing something with you and your daughter that's so special, it is really a great opportunity. It's something that you both will never forget.
Well, that's true, and I love going and attending or assisting with that, because that is exactly right. It's always wonderful to see the daddies and daughters interacting, and what an event, and the pictures, and it is memories for life.
And of course, it's at the community center again.
Yes.
We talked about the community center earlier. There's lots to do. This is just one of the examples of one of the many things that goes on there.
And that class does, or that program does fill up, so sign up today.
So, thank you. And of course, in closing, it's hard to believe we're at another show.
I know.
You know, we have so many people to thank, but thanks to all of you who tuned in today's program to stay in touch with your government. We'd love to hear from you. Please email or call us with your suggestions or concerns, and let us know what you think of the new look. Thanks to our communication staff, Drew Rist and Denise Perrin, who assisted in today's broadcast. And we look forward to seeing you again next month, and we hope that you have a great new year filled with prosperity. So until next time, thanks for joining us for another edition of Rowlett on the Water, on the Move.